Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining our brief webinar today on cybersecurity essentials for SMEs. So when people think about cybersecurity, they imagine hackers breaking through firewalls, fancy code. But the truth is most breaches start with us, with human mistakes. A security expert I spoke to recently said the tactic that literally always works for them is the simplest one. They leave some USB sticks lying around the office or in a car park, and someone picks one up, plugs it in the machine, and they're in breach. Even at the very top level, people get caught out. I was at a conference earlier this year when the CEO of Nord Security was sharing that they ran a fake phishing campaign internally, and loads of their own staff, this is people working at one of the biggest cyber companies in the world, still click the link. And these happen all the time. Phishing is a big deal. They get cleverer and they get more emotive all the time. Most of it is about a distraction, or giving you the confidence to click something when you really, really shouldn't. One that happens every year, which is almost like a trope, is around Christmas time, you get an email with, here comes the Christmas menu, click here to view it and put in your details. And then people just click it. And now they've given away access, or they've given away their details. So I guess the point is technology only goes so far. It's people that create the gaps, and people that need to be trained and supported to close them. For small businesses too, the risk is sharper. Cyber criminals don't just go after big corporations. In fact, SMEs are often easier targets, fewer layers of security, tighter budgets, and a belief that we're too small to be noticed. We call that security by obscurity, and it's not a defense, and it's not a good plan. The impact of an attack on an SME can be devastating. We're talking downtime, financial penalties, reputational damage, and this stuff can last years. But there is a flip side too. So getting this right doesn't just protect you, it makes you more resilient. It builds trust with your clients and can even open up new opportunities, showing that you take cybersecurity seriously, which gives you a competitive edge. So just so you know who's talking to you today, I'm Crispin. I run a small business myself. We went through Cyber Essentials certification a few years ago. I think it was back 5 years ago or so. And now we deliver cybersecurity apprenticeships. We do cybersecurity boot camps through the Coders Guild. So we can see this from both sides, the sort of hands-on SME perspective and the training that helps people and businesses become more secure. And that's what today is about. I want to give you 5 practical, affordable steps that you can take in your own business without needing a full IT department or spending thousands on consultants. So the first one I want to talk about is stronger passwords. So this, I would have thought that this was a given now, but this is still the number one way attackers get into systems. Most breaches don't happen because someone hacked a supercomputer. They happen because someone had a short, easy to guess password or reused the same login across 10 different sites. When you look at the password on the left, someone's name and a number, you might think that was difficult. It's difficult for a human to guess, but it's really easy for a brute force attack. That's where we try thousands and thousands of passwords really, really, really quickly to get through all the different versions of that you could have with an 8-10 character password is very, very quick indeed. So as a business, you can fix this really fast. I would say your best solution is a password manager. So something like Bitwarden or LastPass. And what that means is you sign up to that service, and every login that you have for everyone in the company is managed in there. It's encrypted. It can be you can go up to like 26 characters long, and you don't have to remember these passwords. And they can have unique characters, and they can have numbers. So they're very, very difficult to guess, and they're very, very difficult for bots and programs to try the different versions of until they get in. So rollout is pretty simple. You pick a manager, you do your research, find out one that works for you. You set up a company account, then probably like a 15-minute session with your team that they will sign into this, and you change all of your passwords to be managed in the password manager. So your action is decide that today. Introduce a password manager. And even if you start with just a few for your admin or finance accounts, it will close a huge gap immediately. The second one I want to talk about is multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication. You're probably using this already, or you'll have been forced to use it already for things like your online banking. You log in with your password, and then you need to confirm that it's really you with by someone texting you a code, or you're using an authentication app. So the reason this matters is even if your password gets stolen or guessed, the multi-factor authentication is going to block the attacker, and it stops the vast, vast majority of account takeovers from these sorts of attacks. So if you're using Microsoft 365 or you're using Google Workspace, you can switch on multi-factor authentication really, really easily. And then you can look at the other systems that you use and try and find out how to, if you just search in the help files for 2FA or MFA, it will tell you how to set them up. It doesn't take long for to switch them over, as in from the administration of the account of turning on MFA. And then I think there's also the part of getting your team members to understand what it is to have some sort of authenticator app. Google Authenticator or Microsoft have one, and there are other third-party ones as well. And then to just get into the practice of using them when you're logging into your work accounts. So as an action you could take from this is before the end of the week, have a look at what systems you could switch multi-factor authentication on. Maybe you switch it on just for yourself or a couple of people first off, so that then you can cascade that information out to the rest of the team. But then you're going to start to really ramp up the security of your organization. The third one is about updates and patching. It's annoying to go through the restart and update your machine. Sometimes we pause it or stall it, especially if we're late for a meeting or we just want to get on with something. But taking the step to keep software updated is super important. Anything that is out of date, generally the patches that come in are because there's been some sort of security breach of those systems. So anything that is out of date still has the vulnerability that got people in the first place. So when that's been fixed and then rolled out, that's where your updates are. So the attackers will know what version you're running, or they will try the attacks on your versions of the software just to see if it's updated or not. And they scan for this all of the time. So if your laptop hasn't been updated or your point of sale system is running on old software, that's basically an unlocked door. But the fix is really easy. You turn on auto updates on laptops and phones. You make someone responsible for checking the business critical systems, that point of sale or e-commerce platforms, booking systems. And super important, don't ignore the restart, because that's often where the patch will kick in. You'll download the update and it will sit there, and you'll need to restart the machine in order for that patch to become effective. So takeaway action from this is check whether your devices are set to auto update. Only takes a couple of minutes, but could save your business. Number 4 is backups and recovery. So ransomware is one of the fastest growing attacks, particularly on SMEs. And so how that works is a criminal locks up your data and then demands money to release it, or they will have your sensitive data and threaten to release people's personal details into to the web. So if you've got backups, ransomware can go from a disaster to an inconvenience. You can wipe the infected machine and then restore from the backup and just carry on. But this is the catch. You need to test your backups. Lots of businesses will think they're safe because they've got some backup software, or they're having backups weekly, daily, however. But you'll think you're safe until you try and restore, and you can't restore it. So you must check that you can restore from the backups that you're taking. Otherwise, they're next to useless. Best practice for this is to have automated backups to the cloud and an offline copy for critical data, and then schedule your tests at least, I would say, like once a quarter, to make sure that you can get back from a position where if you have to wipe everything, you can get back. So action point for this is put a date in the diary to test restoring your backups, or have a look into how you get backups for your data if you haven't already. Because remember, if you can't recover your data, in practice, you don't really have a backup. This is my final one of these steps, and that is about staff awareness and policies. So most of these things, you could, like I said at the beginning, you can put the tech in, but we're reliant on people. So the knowledge that we have and the awareness that we have for the wider team about what a phishing email does or looks like, that's our best line of defense. So we can run meetings and go over what phishing looks like. We could have a general awareness about don't click things unless you're absolutely certain that where that click is going. And just remember to spend time and resource on training. I mean, you don't need like a huge program, but a little 20-minute team session just to show staff a couple of phishing examples, talk about what a good password looks like, understand about multi-factor authentication. You could maybe show them the video of this webinar. And then, because when people understand those risks, once you've heard the story about the USB stick in the car park, you're a lot less likely to plug in a USB stick that you found in a car park. So takeaway action is book a short security awareness session with your team and talk about these 5 things. Even once a year is enough to make a difference and remind people about this, and put it into onboarding as well to make sure people aren't starting with insecure passwords. So getting beyond the basics, I mentioned Cyber Essentials at the beginning of the session. So this is a certification you can get as a business where you have your systems and your processes evaluated. It's a self-evaluation process, and you write a report that is then validated by an assessor. But doing those 5 things right now would set you up well on the path towards getting Cyber Essentials. I would say these 5 things are the first step, and then for the next steps, you get that certification, you've covered all the bases, and you'll be able to show your clients, partners that you take security seriously. It's the what is it? It's the UK's recognised standard for SMEs. It's quite simple. It's very practical, and it's increasingly something clients are going to look for when awarding contracts. So you could pay. When we looked at it first off, we were looking at paying a consultant. It was about £2,000, £2,500 to take us through the process. But the reason we decided not to do that was that we wanted to learn about the things that, well, the elements of this Cyber Essentials and what that actually meant. So rather than someone just walk us through it, we decided to do it all ourselves. And the things that you will learn from doing the assessment, it's basically a spreadsheet that you go through yourself and then find out about all of those things. Takes you on that learning journey, and I feel like makes you more secure than having a consultant come and just tell you what to do in order to pass. So we have a skills bootcamp running in there's funding in Lincolnshire and Rutland at the moment, which effectively takes you through all of the parts of Cyber Essentials yourselves. So you would be able to meet the criteria for Cyber Essentials by the end of the course, and you should give you the confidence to apply for that certification directly. So there's no consultation, no consultancy fees, and the skills stay in your business rather than outside, and you get the recognized badge that can give your clients confidence. So I guess my main takeaway, cybersecurity does not have to be expensive, complicated, and it is not out of reach. A few simple changes, you can make your business far more secure. And with the right training, you can go further, sign up to Cyber Essentials, build client trust, and save thousands. So the QR code that we have here will go to our cybersecurity bootcamp if you would like to sign up for that. And if you want your business to be safer, smarter, more competitive, don't wait until after a breach. Start with these actions today and be more secure. Thanks very much.